How many times have you questioned the disappearance of your hard-earned cash? When the end of the month comes around, do you ever wonder why you have no money in your bank account? Has it occurred to you lately how quickly your money seems to vanish? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're a new viewer, we're glad you're here. Let's talk about why your money seems to disappear on you by the time the end of the month rolls around. We'll review 7 spending habits that could be keeping you in your financial rut. Let's get started, and don't forget to take notes. 1. Having no money system and a lack of clarity on how much you earn and spend keeps you financially bound. Having a money system gives you the ability to track and assess if you're hitting or on your way to hitting your money goals. How can you figure out where you're going wrong in your financial plan if there's no way for you to track? You can redirect or change course if you're not even sure of the road you're on. A lot of advice starts with having a budget, and for good reason. Knowing how much you're making and spending gives you the first clear indication of where and how you're using your money. You may have heard of paying yourself first or save 20% of your income. These are all part of an overall money system, but if you don't understand or adhere to a money system, then these statements make no sense to you. Financial freedom can be yours if you put a money system or plan into place. It then gives you something to strive for and a way to track your progress. 2. Waiting for the perfect time. Many of us are waiting for the ideal moment. We eagerly await the perfect moment when we may begin our professional lives, family lives, or even buy a home. We assume we'll just know when the perfect moment happens, and then is when we'll invest our money. But this thinking is flawed. Let's use Newton's first law of motion here. An object in motion stays in motion. So if you never get started because you're hoping, wishing, and waiting for the perfect moment, chances are you'll never start. Investing just $50 a month into a brokerage account, IRA, or 401k could be the catalyst that sees you investing thousands just a few short years later. But how does waiting for the perfect time translate into a bad spending habit that could be keeping you poor? Because oftentimes, individuals are looking for get-rich-quick schemes to try and accelerate and make up for lost time. We must be very cautious of this kind of thinking. Because time and compound interest are your best friends, it's often suggested to invest early and often. Remember, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, but life happens, and sometimes we can't invest in our 20s or even our 30s. Don't let this get you down. Simply start small and slowly increase as your lifestyle allows. 3. Faking rich lifestyles. You cannot be financially free if you spend all of your money on the finer things in life. There's no escape from it. The problem is that it's all around us. We only have to open our Instagram or Twitter accounts to see a post about someone being at a luxury resort or posing with their newest toy. To be wealthy, you have to invest your money in things that make you money, and that's typically not the case with the images we see on these social media platforms. Don't fall into the competition of faking a richer lifestyle than you have. These kinds of purchases may make you feel cool in the moment, but they could be keeping you stuck in your financial situation. 4. Buying things you don't really need. Is there anything in your closet you bought because it was on sale, but you didn't really need it? Actually, is there anything you bought that you haven't ever worn? Aren't we all guilty of such actions? We've all done this. Whether it's impulsive spending or fear of missing out on something, we must be cautious about where and why we spend our money. Make it a practice to ask yourself if you really need an item before you buy it. To help curb your impulsive spending, implement a 48-hour rule before you purchase so that you can truly determine if you need it or you just wanted it in that moment. After watching this video, go back and look at your expenditures over the previous month. Take a look at what you spent money on and see if there are any items that you didn't truly need. Think about how you could have invested the money somewhere else. Little actions add up. So don't worry about how small a purchase, because even just $5 extra in your IRA or brokerage account can mean hundreds, if not thousands of dollars over several decades. 5. Keeping up with the Joneses. It's common knowledge among real estate agents that being the worst property on the best street is preferable to being the best house on the worst street. However, when your neighbors appear to have it all, the desire to be the most fantastic house in the best neighborhood can overshadow your spending wisdom. It's a psychological trigger that might induce you to overspend when trying to keep up with the Joneses or compete with your family, neighbors, or friends. While some people don't give a second thought to how they stack up against others, it can be a significant issue for certain families. A friend buying a new car or house, going on a costly vacation, or even wearing expensive jewelry might trigger competitive behavior that leads to unwise financial decisions. It's critical to remember that external success measures are challenging. Remember your priorities and aspirations, especially when you see a neighbor arrive in a flashy new car. By contributing to your retirement account rather than splashing out on a new vehicle, you know you're working toward a solid financial future. 6. Using shopping as a form of therapy. Spending can be a therapy for some people, while others prefer to exercise or listen to music. In the same way that exercise and eating chocolate all release endorphins in the brain, shopping does the same. Money can become an addiction for the same reasons those previous items do, to make oneself feel better. It's difficult to stop the habit of using shopping to improve your mood since it establishes a connection between happiness and the acquisition of material items. So, just how widespread is this problem? A 2016 Ebates study indicated that 96% of adults and 95% of youth engage in retail therapy. Several things helped these people relax, including entertainment, vacation, and electronic devices. Just about everyone is affected by this kind of expenditure. Shopping is not always a negative experience. However, you can't just do it to make yourself feel better at the end of a terrible day. Instead of blowing your cash, look for alternate, more cost-effective methods of relieving stress and increasing happiness. Each of these behaviors has a different treatment for each individual. The mood-lifting effects of shopping can be replaced with exercise for some, while staying at home during sales for others is probably a good idea to limit temptation. To break a harmful habit, you must admit to yourself that you have a problem. The realization that you're harming your own chances of financial independence could be the push you require to finally pull yourself out of debt. Thanks for watching today's video. If you learned something new today, like this video and share it with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and click on that bell icon to keep getting notified for when we drop more videos.